Hare Krishna Prabhu, or Virdi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very far. Yeah. Yes, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, I can hear you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate and glad to have the association of His Grace Sacitanaya Gaura Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectarian verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 5, chapter number 25, and sloka number 4 and 5. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय पुत्रे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीचन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीचन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 25, Shloka number 4 and 5. यस्याङ्घ्रिकमल युगलारुण विषाद नखमणि नखमणिषण्डमण्डलेष्वहि पतयः सह सात्वतर्षभैरेकान्तभक्तियोगेन योगेन वनमन्तः स्ववदनानि परिस्फुरत्कुण्डलप्रभामण्डितः गण्डस्थलान् यतिमनोहराणि प्रमुदितमनसः खलु विलोकयन्ति. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The pink transparent toenails on the Lord's lotus feet are exactly like valuable gems polished to a mirror finish. When the unalloyed devotees and the leaders of the snakes offer their obeisances to Lord Sankarsana with great devotion, they become very joyful upon seeing their own beautiful faces reflected in his toenails. Their cheeks are decorated with glittering earrings, and the beauty of their faces is extremely pleasing to see. Shloka number 5, Canto 5, chapter 25, shloka number 5. Yasyaiva hi Nagaraja Kumarya Ashisha Ashasanashcharvanga Valaya Vilasita Vishada Vipula Dhavala Subagaruchira Bhujara Jatastambheshwar Jatastambheshwar Guruchandana Kunkuma पंकानुलेपान विलंपमानास्तद तदभिमर्शनोन्मितहृदय मृतहृदय मकरध्वजावेश वेश रुचिललित रुचिललित स्मितास्तद स्मितास्तदनुरु अनुराग मदमुदित विघूर्णितारुणा करुणा वलोक नयनवदनारविन्दं सव्रीडं किल विलोकयन्ति. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Ananta's arms are attractively long, beautifully decorated with bangles and completely spiritual. They are white and so they appear like silver columns. When the beautiful princesses of the serpent kings, hoping for the Lord's auspicious blessing, smear his arms with aguru pulp, sandalwood pulp, and kunkuma. The touch of his limbs awakens lusty desires within them. Understanding their minds, the Lord looks at the princesses with merciful smile, and they become bashful, realizing that he knows their desires. Then they smile beautifully and look upon the Lord's lotus face, which is beautified by reddish eyes rolling slightly from intoxication and delighted by love for his devotees. Purport. When males and females touch each other's bodies, their lusty desires naturally awaken. It appears from this verse that there are similar sensations in spiritual bodies. Both Lord Ananta and the woman giving him pleasure had spiritual bodies. Thus, all sensations originally exist in the spiritual body. This is confirmed with the Vedanta Sutra. Janmadhyasya yataha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented in this connection that the word Adi means Adi Rasa, the original lusty feeling which is born from the Supreme. However, the spiritual lust and material lust are completely different as gold and iron. Only one who is very highly elevated in spiritual realization can understand the lusty feelings exchanged between Radha and Krishna or between Krishna and the damsels of Vraja. Therefore, unless one is very experienced and advanced in spiritual realization, he is forbidden to discuss the lusty feelings of Krishna and the gopis. However, if one is sincere and pure devotee, the material lust in his heart is completely vanquished as he discusses the lusty feelings between the gopis and Krishna, and he makes quick progress in spiritual life. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्. हरे कृष्णा. Welcome everyone to today's Bhagavatam class. So we are discussing today Canto 5, chapter 25, Shloka 4 and 5. So kindly bless me so that I can discuss and speak, topics that are as it is presented by Srila Prabhupada. So I don't divert from the essence of it. So in this chapter, this 25th chapter is about the glories of Lord Ananta. So in the first few shlokas, it is mentioned that Lord Ananta is around 240,000 miles beneath the planet Patala. And he is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the expansion of Lord Vishnu known as Lord Ananta or Lord Sankarshana. He is always in a transcendental position, but because he is worshipped by Shiva, the deity of Tamoguna or darkness, he is sometimes called Tamasi. Lord Ananta is the predominating deity of the material mode of ignorance, as well as the false ego of the conditioned souls. When a conditional living being thinks, I am the enjoyer and the world is meant to be enjoyed by me, this conception of life is dictated by him, dictated to him by Sankarshana. Thus, the mundane conditioned soul thinks himself to be the supreme. So, it is Lord Ananta who gives this kind of thought to the jiva based on understanding his desire. So initially we have Mahasankarshana, Mahavishnu, then there is Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, then there is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, then Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, then we have Ananta, who is holding the entire universe on his one of his hoods. And this universe is just like a mustard seed, compared mustard seed, and Lord Ananta is, he can hold so many universes just like that, and without any effortlessly he can do. Ekam Shena Stito Jagat. So Lord creates and maintains everything without taking much effort. Effortlessly he maintains everything, and he can maintain how much ever comes. So if he creates many material world, spiritual world, all that he can maintain without much effort only. So here in the and also Lord Ananta is the impetus for destruction of the universes. So every universe that is created, it is all maintained by the Lord, and finally that is also destructed. There are around 4 kinds of destruction, and every moment things are destructed, because nothing is constant. It feels like everything is same since so many years, but even every moment things are changing. Especially the body is constantly changing. That is one kind of pralaya. Then second is pralaya that happens at the end of the day of Lord Brahma, and then once Lord Brahma's tenure in itself is over, then also one pralaya happens. And the last pralaya is when jiva does not want to stay back in this material world, when it has completely understood it has nothing to do with this material world, and it wants to permanently live. That is the fourth pralaya. So that can happen anytime. When jiva has understood this point and it is qualified, then it leaves the material world forever to join the Supreme Lord. So these are the fruit pralayas. So Lord Ananta is responsible for the pralayas. We can also say the last pralaya also, because once if somebody has only when understood the glories of Lord Ananta, then can one leave the material world. So we can include the fourth one also. But however, Lord Ananta is directly responsible for the impetus that is given to Lord Shiva for destruction of the material world. So it is all planned. It is all the process is set. Everything is set. Only these actors like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they have to act. Like Lord Brahma creates the Nisarga, secondary creation. Similarly, Lord Shiva also act to do the so-called destruction. So, like Krishna tells Arjuna, you either you may not, you may you they're all already killed. Um, all these warriors, they're all already killed. It is only you are just an instrument. Huh? So Krishna says, um, so you become the tool. You become the tool. So similarly, all others are tool. Yes, but Lord doesn't interfere but still the free will is still there, still there. The free will is something with which Lord does not interfere. Hmm. But he tries to influence, inspire, but he does not interfere. So that is definitely there. So here, the fourth shloka, it seems there are unalloyed devotees. When the unalloyed devotees and leaders of the snakes, so always Lord is surrounded by devotees, unalloyed devotees, the close parshads, Um, Krishna Varnam Tosha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. So whenever Lord goes, whenever he does Leela, all the Parshads, the associates, they already assemble and create the required environment for the Lord to appear and do his Leela. So Lord is never alone. So here also Lord Ananta is not alone here. He is uh, he's um, he's surrounded by his unalloyed devotees and leaders of snakes. And if you see, I mean, I don't know if that is, I am just thinking, these shlokas, if you see, they are very long and, there is no break. All sandhis, one word is connected to another like that. At least 15 to 20 words are connected together. And it's like snake only. So because I noted that in even the first shloka onwards, the shlokas are very lengthy. But otherwise, if you see in Bhagavatam, other shlokas, they are not this lengthy. But this shlokas of this particular chapter, the glories of our Lord Ananta, seems to be very serpentine. so so this is also very long. Even the fifth one is still more longer. So here the leaders of the snakes, they're also devotees. They're also devotees. There is a world of his own, Lord Ananta's world. So there, the devotees are uh, looking at the uh, toenails, beautiful faces. They are seeing their own faces reflected in his toenails. So these toenails, how they are become very joyful upon seeing their own beautiful faces reflected in his toenails. The cheeks are decorated. The cheeks are decorated with glittering earrings, and the beauty of their face is extremely pleasing to see. If somebody is able to appreciate that, they got associated with the Supreme Lord, they are very happy. They are not. They are not guilty that they have taken to the material attachment, they have taken to the uh, self enjoyment instead of against the dharma of jiva is to please the Supreme Lord, or please somebody or the other. That is definitely there. But when it tries to please its own self, then it is not happy. It feels guilty. But here, if you see, uh, they are very, very happy to see their own faces reflected in his toenails. So that means the smile indicates that they are glad that they have taken to the shelter of the Supreme Lord instead of feeling that guilty, they are already taken to the shelter of the Supreme Lord. So there is one song, Bhajahu Remana, Srinanda Nandana, Abhaya Charana Ravindare. In that, there is one this thing, in second para, Sita Atapa Bata Barishana, Yedina Jamini Jagire. विफले से विनु कृपण दुर्जन चपल सुखल भलागिरे सीता तप बात भरिशन ये दिन जामिनी जागिरे. Which means, both in the day and night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and rain. Okay, Jiva is suffering, taking so much effort, hurting its own body. For what? For a fraction of flickering happiness. Chapala sukha labha lagire. Because that taste for that chapala sukha is there. Because of that, it is taking so much pain. How advisable is that? The author, the singer is lamenting that Jiva, that is the nature of Jiva. It takes to Chapala Sukha and it feels guilty. Then, and thinking what? And why is it taking all that pain? Thinking that Yedhana Yavana Putra Parijana Iteki Ache Pariti Tire. Thinking that it will get assurance of real happiness from its own wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members. So for all that, thinking that it will get assurance of this happiness, it is taking so much pain. We know that Ratnakar, who became later Valmiki by the association of Narad Muni, he was also thinking. So Narad Muni challenges him. Why don't you go and ask your family if they will be able to partake with your sins? You are giving them all facilities, but at the cost of by sinfully you are giving them some benefit. But just go and ask, while they are sharing the benefit that you are offering, will they be also ready to partake the sins that you are incurring? So then they completely deny. Then he realizes that it is what he is doing is wrong. So similarly, so the thinking that that there is that the assurance of real happiness is there in his own wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members, it is making all this effort of for this Chapala Sukha. So, so then Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala Bhajahu Haripada Nitire. So life is like a droplet of water on the lotus flower. So one should take to the lotus feet of the Lord. So all jivas, they don't easily take up to the lotus feet of the Lord, Ashraya of the Lord. And Lord is the only Ashraya. All other are Ashrita Tattva. Ashraya Tattva is the Supreme Lord. All Purusha Avataras, they're all Ashraya Tattvas. So, but not all the jivas take to the Ashraya. They take to Ashraya of other things. So-called temporary Ashrayas. Then they feel guilty because it is not permanent. They realize it and then they are guilty. But one who has surrendered to the Lord, one who has started, practicing, they feel safe. Oh, at last, I didn't get into wrong path. Somehow or the other, by Acharya's mercy and devotee's mercy, I'm in the right path. They feel satisfied. So, when these devotees, close devotees of the Lord, they are seeing their beautiful faces reflected in the toenails, they are very happy that they have taken to the shelter. And and here their cheeks are decorated, and the beauty of the soul is definitely increased by seeing oneself connected to the Supreme Lord. So, and there is no other ashraya, there is no other ashraya um, mm, there is no other ashraya. It is very difficult in this world, in this mundane world, in this material world. There is always problems. There are always problems, and they're all temporary in nature. There is no proper ashraya that anybody can give. So Uttara is when Ashwatthama is attacking with the Brahmastra, Uttara is calling out for Krishna, and she's saying, um, Nanyat abhayam, Nanyat tadabhayam pashye. I don't see any other shelter other than you. Nanyat tadabhayam pashye. Um, पाहि पाहि महायोगिन देवदेव जगत्पते नान्यत् भयं पश्ये यत्र मृत्यु परस्परम. I don't see any other shelter other than you, Krishna, who is also the shelter giver of for the uh, all the devatas also. And I don't see anybody else who can give a better shelter to me than you in this world of death. Yatra mrityu parasparam. Everywhere. Padam padam yatvi padam natisham. So everywhere there is mrityu. Everywhere there is death. Everywhere there is problem. There is no uh, there is no uh, calmness. There is anxiety. In this world of anxiety and death, I don't see anybody else but you as my shelter. Like that, Uttara is mentioning, and she is approaching Lord Krishna. And Prabhupada mentions further in the shlokas that how Krishna gives shelter. Krishna is giving shelter in a very unique and the most impossible places also Krishna is giving shelter. See, if somebody is not well and they have to reach out to the hospital. If you have, we must have seen in North India, so much flood and things are going on. First of all, doctors are not in a position to save themselves. Then what kind of help they can do? But still, out of their duty, if they want to help also, people are not able to reach. It's very difficult. See, facility is there, technology, advancement, whatnot, but so much water pralaya is happening, they are not able to reach the hospital. Then how can they get shelter? Not possible. Very difficult. So-called shelter is somewhere there in a very vague way, but not available. But whereas Krishna is giving shelter, Prabhupada explains, beyond time and space. Nobody can see. It's not that before Ashwatthama released the Brahmastra, he was killed. No. He already released the Brahmastra. Ashwatthama already released Brahmastra, and it is approaching. Nobody can hold it. Nobody can, fight it against. It is not possible. So then it is only the Lord who can give that shelter. He gets into the womb to protect. The um, the initial 7 months of the child's resting in the womb, it is up to that time, it is like death, Prabhupada mentions. And then it wakes up. It wakes up to the after that time, after that period. At that time, when Parikshit Maharaj is Prabhupada explains, he is very chivalrous from the starting only. Even while he was in the womb, and he was not scared. He woke up to see that something is approaching, and it's very hot. He is feeling that. But then, while he is trying to see what is happening, uh, of course, we cannot understand how a baby in the womb uh, um, conceives these things that we cannot imagine, but it is explained that way. And then, while he is still contemplating what's going on, then he sees a figure, a beautiful figure, form of the Lord, a Supreme Lord, with all the descriptions. It is all given in the next shlokas. And then he sees that he is beautifully decorated and he protected. So when he comes out when he comes out of the womb, during all his years, all his life, he was looking and trying to see who saved me. Is this the person who saved me, or is this the person? Like that, he's going on assessing. He's going on assessing. He's going on um, trying to make out if and see whoever he meets, he sees that if it is Lord Vishnu who saved. So that is why his name is called Parikshit. So that way, the Lord is the only shelter, and in even unimaginable situations also, Lord can extend himself and protect in so many ways. So, so that is the so that is how Lord gives shelter. And then some points. What? Uh, so then uh, yes, then but but the jiva should have a exclusive, belief. You should have exclusive belief. It's not that uh, so he should have an exclusive belief. Like it is mentioned, the devotees of the Lord, they are like swans. They 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 take to the network of the root of the lotus. Krishna Tadiya what is the shloka? Krishna Tadiya Padapankaj Panjarantam अध्येवमे विशतो मनसः राजहंसः मनसः राजहंसः प्राणप्रयाणसमये कपवातपित्तैः कण्ठावरोधनविधौ स्मरणं कुतस्ते. So Kulasekara says that the devotees of the Lord, they are like swans. They know how to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, the network of uh, the network of the roots of lotus. So not everyone, not unless someone is a swan, he cannot approach that place, because they will not go to that place where it is clear, where it is very nice. They will go to filthy places like a crow. Uh, Vaisana, what is it? Let's look at it. It says Vaisana, it's like a flocking of the crows in filthy place. Uh, so like that, not everyone can approach the uh, lotus like, lotus like the roots of the lotus. So taking shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Not everybody can take to the lotus feet of the Lord. Only the devotees. Only the devotees. So so they understand the glories of the Lord, and they understand the glories, and that is why they can actually take to the lotus feet of the Lord. But the Prabhupada explains that what is that special thing that devotees are able to do, whereas the others are not able to do, because they are not speculative in nature. If you see, in Prabhupada gives a lot of importance, distinctive mentions you can find in throughout Prabhupada's work, that don't speculate like that. So that speculative mentality is a disaster. Okay, that is why Prabhupada mentions not to speculate, and it is very very typically, Prabhupada will mention everywhere. Do not speculate. So this speculation means, see, I have some when we speak to some people, we can see how they speculate. They are highly educated. They want to use their education. They want to um, read and understand Upanishad, big literary works, but they want to come up with their conclusions. They will read from Upanishads and all big literatures, but the conclusion will be their own. Hmm? So, but they can't conclude rightly. It is very difficult because they're not taking the shelter of the parampara. They're not taking the shelter of the authority who is describing the glories, the how spiritual world works, what is the relation between Jiva and the Supreme Lord, who are his Lord's associates. They don't want to read and understand it as it is, and because of that, they are not able to take the shelter of the authority, they speculate. When they speculate, then it is very difficult for them, and they are working for puja labh pratishtha only, and thus they can never uh, become a swan which can actually take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the reason that they cannot take to the shelter, and they cannot understand the glories, and uh, and that is why uh, they are not very close, and their protection is also they are left to their own karma and the um, material authority. So in Brahma Samhita it is mentioned Vayorathapi manaso uh, munipungavanam sopyasti yat pravata simni avichintya tatve. So after so many years of speculation, you know, um, and and Vayorathapi manaso munipungavanam, by controlling their breath, speculating, all they could reach is sopyasti yat pravata simni avichintya tatve. They could only understand or uh, contemplate the tip of the fingernail of the Lord. Okay, whereas Lord is ready to do pastime, you know, and be take Jiva as a member of his own community, of his as in his circle of parshads, but still because of the speculative and all other exercises, they are not able to understand the Lord in the supreme form, and they are only able to realize the fingertip of the uh, toenails of the Lord. So, yes, and so all these methods, all these other methods, other than the prescribed method, which is to chant and uh, sing the glories of the Lord, hear Harikatha, other than all this, is like licking the honey bottle only, not the honey from the outside, not the honey bottle. So, but in Brahma Samhita only, it is also mentioned Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmataya Manassu. So that I don't remember that fully. Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmataya Manassu. Stand. It's very important and nice. आनंद चिन्मय रसात्मतया मनस्सु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलन स्मरताम् उपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. The translation is like this: I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world by the activity of his own pastimes. Being reflected in the mind of recollecting souls as the transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. So, how Lord rules? See, there are other means also, like all this, Ashtanga yoga, speculative Jnana Yoga, all the speculative methods are also there, but they are not complete in itself. Then what is the way? The Lord and Lord Brahma says clearly that yap praninam pratipalan smratam upetya. Leelaitena bhuvanani jayati ajasram. Lord is conquering the entire world by his leelas. So that is the way, that is the path. So one has to develop that loving relationship. So one has to hear the uh, pastimes of the Lord, and Lord is conquering the entire world by his through his leelas. Leela itena bhuvanani jayati ajasram, always jayati ajasram. Hmm? And who can do that? Yap praninam pratipalan smaratam upetya, who again and again keeps on recollecting the glories of the Lord, keeps on hearing, keeps on contemplating, the what one has read, what one has assimilated. So when somebody keeps on recollecting, assimilating, recollecting, and remembering again and again the glories and pastimes of the Lord, for them it is possible. They are allowing themselves to be ruled by the leelas of the Lord. So that is why it is very important. And transcendental entity so they are in the transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. By doing so, they are always connected with the Supreme Lord. So all other means are of not use, but the means is to connect and listen to the glories of the Supreme Lord. So in many places it is mentioned. It's many places it is mentioned that one should hear the glories of the Lord again and again. Um, then yes, okay. Now the next shloka, which is here, Prabhupada is mentioning when males and female touch each other's body, their lusty desires naturally awaken. It appears from this verse that there are similar sensations in spiritual bodies as well. Both Lord Ananta and woman giving pleasure had spiritual bodies. Thus, all sensations originally exist in spiritual body. So, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sacitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So, if there is a lusty desire, that is also because of its origin from the Lord only. But it is, Prabhupada is mentioning, the spiritual lust and material lust completely different. Okay, there is no enjoying propensity as such, like in the material lust, and it is all imitation. The material world is an imitation. So, but to understand this lusty nature is not so easy. So it is always advised that these definitions, these explanations, the purport regarding this is all verbatim understood from Srila Prabhupada as it is. So we don't. So for the sake of, definitely one should know, because that is of course the glorification of the Lord only. But we don't have to. One does not have to indulge too much into the higher concepts of uh, this higher concepts like this. So depending on arhata, depending on adhikar, one can understand accordingly. So, and Prabhupada also is mentioning, however, if one is sincere and pure devotee, the material lust in his heart is completely vanquished as he discusses the lusty feelings between the gopis and Krishna, and he makes quick progress in spiritual life. So, these so one can by even reading the lusty feelings, material lusty feelings are vanquished. That is what Prabhupada is mentioning. But one must be sincere and qualified. So for that to do that. But otherwise, one can go one step at a time. So it is also mentioned. So uh, the pleasure potency of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is Radharani, and it is also mentioned. Um, if you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, Khladinira Sara Prema. Khladinira Sara Prema, Prema Sara Bhava, Bhavera Parama Kashta Nama Mahabhava. And all this, the essence of Hladini potency is love of Godhead, the essence of love of Godhead is emotion, Bhava, and the ultimate development of emotion is Mahabhava. So, all this pleasure giving, pleasure giving potencies, the these are all included. These are all included in the Hladini Shakti, in which and the essence of that is love of Godhead, and essence of love of Godhead is Bhava, and finally Mahabhava. So one should not, the product of the Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead, which has two divisions, namely pure love of Godhead and adulterated love of Godhead. So, and Jiva, when and the materially exposed, he is in the adulterated love of Godhead. So, only when Hladini Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna and is bestowed upon the living being to attract him, does the living being become a pure lover of God. But when the Hladini Shakti is adulterated by external material energy and emanates from living being, it does not attract Krishna. On the contrary, the living being becomes attracted by the glamour of the material energy. So, but principally, the pleasure giving principle is Hladini Shakti, and if it is adulterated, it is the uh, material glamour which attracts the jiva. So, one has to be, so this is a good understanding, and based on which one can act upon. So at the time, instead of becoming mad with love of God, the living being becomes mad after material senses and enjoyment. And because of his association with qualitative modes of material nature, he is captivated by his interactions of distressful, unhappy feelings. So this lusty desire when understood in the context of the Lord, Supreme Lord, it is perfectly well for the Lord. But the same feeling is the very cause of putting the jiva back into this material world. So it should not be. It should not be. One has to be very careful. One has to be very careful. That is why, if you see the mm, the uh, mm, so that is the reason. So for this Maithuna Bhava is what will keep the jiva in this material world. So it is just against, where for Lord it is a pleasure, but jiva cannot get into saying that Lord has got it is all coming from the Lord only, I will also be a part of it. That is absolutely wrong, because for Lord there is no material influence, but whereas jiva has the material influence. So that is why this particular bhav should be very carefully handled, only with caution. Only for uh, having children who can serve the Supreme Lord. So even the grihastha ashrama is also not a very to be taken very lightly for creation of many children. Just not like that. It is also dealt with very, very carefully. So only to give birth to children uh, who can be put into the service of the Lord. So that is how the grihastha carefully deals in the grihastha ashram. So the point is, so yes. So, however, if but for the sake of understanding the concept, for the sake of understanding Lord's position, and to appreciate and increase the love of Godhead, one should carefully read this under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. It has to be verbatim understood, and yes. So other and not understanding is also difficult because unless it is cleared, it will be a mystery and it will lead to more confusion. So it's better to properly understand it as it is, as given by Srila Prabhupada. So yes, so that is what we can understand from this shloka. Yes, and here also, if you see, Krishna, and even the reciprocation with the Supreme Lord, Lord is also reciprocating. If you see in this case, Lord is also reciprocating to encourage them. So I think we can stop here with this point. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Prabhu, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for sharing the nectar, and also I think it's a sensitive topic and also very technical. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for covering that and touching upon all the points. I would request the devotees to share their comments or reflections.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. I don't have any questions, Prabhu. It was so nice and it was very nice, blissful flow, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Any question from anybody else? Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes.
I think you mentioned about devotees actually acts like a swan, and they know how to take the shelter and how to take the best out. This devotees, the term devotees, is it referring to the pure devotees or is it for sadhaka devotees as well, Prabhu?
You mean the first shloka where it is mentioned, that one, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. They are all very pure devotees. It is mentioned when unalloyed devotees and the leaders of all snakes offer their obeisances to Lord Sankarsana with great devotion. So they are close parshads of the Lord. We find always Lord is surrounded with parshads. So here it is mentioned about the close parshads, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
That is your question, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. That was my question.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yesterday I was listening to Madhav Sharma, his Grace Madhav Sharma Prabhu's class. He was telling about Sankarshana. Is there Sankarshana and Sankarshana? What is the difference, Prabhu?
That much I don't know, Mataji. This is definitely what I heard is here Lord Ananta is the expansion from Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. That's what I understood.
Mataji, you can note down the question and we can ask Pavaneshwar Prabhu's class.
Yes, Mataji.
Friday.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I request we have
anybody else wants to answer, please kindly.
I think Prabhu, there are no questions, Prabhu. One quick announcement to the devotees. It's kind of a reminder. So next Friday evening, we have His Grace Pavaneshwar Prabhu coming to our temple, and he will be giving a seminar on Bhagavata cosmology, which is what we spoke about in this canto in the last few chapters. So Prabhuji will be, I understand that he's an expert and he has done a lot of research and analysis on this topic. So he's considered one of the person authorized or authentic person within ISKCON who actually has an in-depth knowledge on this subject matter. So I request the devotees to enroll this course and take advantage of his association. We may or may not understand, but it's an endeavor to make to understand. I think that's what is required. So I request the devotees to enroll for this class, and I think temple management has sent the link for enrollment. So I request the devotees to enroll if possible. Thank you. It will be an offline course. There's no online session available. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, devotees. If there are no questions, we can end today's session. Pancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhobhye पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल।
Prabhu, is it offline or online, Prabhu? It's not online?
It's not online, it's only offline, Mataji.
Because one day we will be traveling, Prabhu, so we'll be missing the class.
It is mentioned that it is offline, Mataji.
Okay.
You can reach out to Chaitanya Prasad Prabhu and ask.
Okay.
That
Thank
he
you.
can do. Because if we choose online, I think many of them will only come through online. So